Hollygrove, one of the most famous parts of New Orleans for many reasons. Hey, I'm Dr. Clips. Most of you may know me from the Into the Magnolia documentary, the Science of No Limit documentary, or the Hardhead History documentary, covering different topics in New Orleans, urban topics. And today we're going to be talking about Hollygrove. We have a lot to uncover, from the origins of Hollygrove to the crack epidemic, which had a very negative impact on the Hollygrove community. We're also going to talk about some of my favorite music artists to come out of Hollygrove, from Fiend to Lil Wayne to 0017, Nesby Phips. We're going to talk about a lot of that. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want me to make more documentaries like this. And do me a favor and comment your favorite rapper from Hollygrove. Comment that and you may just win something.
You don't really appreciate it until you're away from it. Yeah. You see how the world regards it, and you see how much of it lives in you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you see where this doesn't exist.
I come back to Hollygrove. I'm like high school, 9th grade and shit in Hollygrove popping. They got like Ghost Town popping, and that was like before nigga really can go out. That's the neighborhood. So that really started with Izzo, Nesby Phips and Fiend. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So one day, Izzo, I fuck with them, so they called me over there to get on the project, the Hollygrove Ain't Enough project.
Growing up in Hollygrove, paint the picture, shit, that shit just like, man, it's real life. Poverty, you know, I ain't never had no daddy, you know what I'm saying? Growing up in Hollygrove, you see a lot of shit.
Tapped a girl like Phips, yeah. A star had to walk across the sky just to get you. Now usually I be shooting, but tonight I'm only cruising at a speed that made it easy for them fees to start choosing. 2 miles an hour with my partner playing possums. Now I play dead like say Red, you should've won an Oscar. I'm only in the running for the money, save your trophy. It'll take more to get you through this door than saying you know me. A pocket full of poses, blowing rings around the rosy. The shots drew a body, shots of that socket got her open. But get what you was wishing, get over what you hoping. I'm finna tear it down in this bitch like I was Joseph. Now throw it like you're open.
You ain't gotta ask me to scope. See when I touch down, I'm looking for a nasty bitch so I can bust down. Respecting from the gate when I see it, cause I don't fuck round. I'm pimping the business and checking the niggas because I'm coming from uptown. You ain't gotta ask me to scope. See when I touch down, I'm looking for a nasty bitch that I can bust down. Respecting from the gate when I see it, cause I don't fuck round.
Hollygrove's origins are in the large McCarthy plantation. In 1845, when the suburban town of Carrollton was incorporated, it included Hollygrove. Carrollton was annexed to New Orleans in 1874, and this area remained largely undeveloped and swampy until the mid-1960s when residents started to spring up.
New Orleans built off families and neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was just kind of recapping with my mama, just kind of going over what was going on in Hollygrove before I got there. And it was like middle class. Now when it first started off, my grandfather, my mama, daddy, he grew up in Gertown. And when he was growing up, Hollygrove was cow pastures. Because it used to be the part of the, I forgot his name, it was a plantation. Then it became like farmland. And then, you know, people started building houses and shit. And it was a predominantly white neighborhood. Then when black people started doing better, started buying homes, and quite naturally, white people move out. It became a predominantly black neighborhood, and it was all cool.
By 1965, little vacant land remained in Hollygrove. While its history is relatively modern, Hollygrove boasts the talents of such accomplished musicians as Johnny Adams, Lil Wayne, partners in crime, Nesby Phips, and more. Hollygrove is bounded by Palmetto Street to the north, the Jefferson Parish line to the west, Claiborne Avenue to the south, and the eastern boundary jogs westward from Carrollton Avenue to Cambronne and Leonidas. Dixon occupies the area between the New Orleans Country Club Golf Course, the Pontchartrain Expressway I-10, and the Palmetto Canal. Part of Hollygrove between Palmetto and Air Lane Highway has become known as Palm Air. The housing stock in Palm Air is affluent compared to the more modest housing in Hollygrove. Hollygrove Dixon remains the working class neighborhood that was originally established. According to the 2000 census data, Hollygrove-Dixon had a total population of 8,600 people, with around 3,300 households and 2,200 family households. 28.9% of its population lives in poverty, nearly 95% of its residents are African American, and its population is older than most seen in Orleans Parish as a whole. For these reasons, accessible health care and public transportation are vital components of the neighborhood. Hollygrove has always been known for its tight-knit, family-oriented community. Most residents knew and interacted with one another on a daily basis.
But Hollygrove, that's what really made me, you hear me? Like, I grew up 3 houses away from the set, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I really saw damn near everything from my house, you know what I'm saying? Like, then that was the big boy days when my pa was with Big Boy Records, so we shining. I mean, I got all the games at the crib, so all my homies, all my neighborhood partners, they at my crib, you know what I'm saying? I got soccer boppums, I got Dreamcasts, I got, so, you know what I'm saying? I was really the party house, you know what I'm saying? I was the house that had all that shit, like, so Hollygrove, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where all my partners, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got half of my partners, they really locked up that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? But that's what we really started at, like, you know what I'm saying, from walking from the crib to the park playing football, 15 deep, you know what I'm saying, 10 deep on bikes and shit, like, you know what I'm saying, just all that extra shit, like, you know what I'm saying, that I feel like they ain't even got that type of shit going on today, you know what I'm saying, like, niggas don't even be on bikes and shit no more and all that type of shit, and just little kids squatted up, you know what I'm saying, ganged up, so we had fun in the hood, even though it was wild, but we still had fun, like, we made a way to find our fun in that shit.
Uptown as a whole has a reputation for being community-based due to its small size. Before the crack era, the vibe was comparable to a 90s black sitcom.
First we were like stealing cars, and stealing cars was popping for a minute, but then that crack got to us, and we started making money off that crack. That when they got real different in the hood. Cause then we had the older cats, they were really more selling dope back then, and then Dots and them had made millions back there, killing the game with the dope. So they already had like a dope set popping, but then crack was blowing up, and they like just get a crack game to us, like fuck it, we ain't fucking with no coke, they do dope. So we right there pumping under them, and it was already an old set. I come off the Olive Branch corner.
When the crack came, I vividly have memories of playing in this park. I just talked to my mom this morning, we was talking about it. And we used to play in the park, my mom would exercise. They'd even have exhibition boxing matches with prisoners in the park. It was like, you know, times were simpler. This pre-crack, you know what I'm saying? Before crack came. But then when crack came, the prison population rose so much, so fast, in a short amount of time, they couldn't get a building erected fast enough. So they made this concentration camp style prison that looked very similar to what you see at the beginning of Scarface. So it was two ways. Skip, anybody that could vouch for Tent City. Anybody that was out there, you know about Tent City. So it was two barbed wire fences about 20-something feet high. You know, they had like a little space in between them. There was a guard gate, a post, like a gunman post. They used to have these like shotguns or rifles with rubber bullets in them.
In the middle
on Dupree Street, which is used to be known as Jane Alley, which is where Satchmo grew up at, right? So, you know, like just on the other side of the bridge from Xavier. When we moved out of the 17th, but I still spent every day in the 17th because my mama was stupid close with her parents. So like, I was there every fucking day. But I grew up in the middle of the crack epidemic. So they ain't let me stray off too far. I ain't really start getting out until I started playing football at Harrell when I was like 10, 11 years old. So now I'm back out and now I'm in the 17 again, like all the time. You feel what I'm saying?
Growing up in Hollygrove, paint the picture, shit, that shit just like, man, it's real life. Poverty, you know, I ain't never had no daddy, you know what I'm saying? Growing up in Hollygrove, you see a lot of shit. You're exposed to a lot of stuff early. But you know, growing up in Hollygrove, you just exposed to a lot of shit early, you know, like crack fiends, you know, like all type of shit. Like growing up, I seen a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? Just me and my mama running the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't had nowhere to go, like at one point, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? But Hollygrove, you just seen a lot of shit. Grew up around drug dealers, you know, a lot of niggas sold dope, a lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying, playing with guns. Nigga did all that early. I dug 3 indictments. I got probably about like 27 partners in jail right now.
Land use in Hollygrove Dixon is predominantly residential, with the largest commercial development being the Carrollton Shopping Center at the intersection of Carrollton Avenue and I-10.
Literally just ride my bike over the Jeff Davis Bridge, cut through Xavier, and I'm back in, Carrollton Shopping Center, because, I started cutting hair, so I was always going to Carrollton Shopping Center for barber supplies, and then I started doing music. They had a Radio Shack, so now I'm always over there. Carrollton Shopping Center was like the center of it for us. That's where Odyssey was, that's where Wayne met Baby and them. Damon's Men's, where I get my Kangos from them, my silk undershirts, the whole nine, bro. So, uptown nigga through and through.
Everybody remember like McKenzie. No, that wasn't McKenzie, that was
Muffin's Corner.
Muffin's Corner. They gonna say Muffin's Corner was an old spot. Yeah, nigga hung on Muffin's Corner, but nigga really hung in the Olive Branch. Yeah. The store, they got the Olive Branch, then they got 3 different stores around that bitch, but nigga moved the Olive Branch from Olive and Eagle to Olive and General Organ.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they called Olive Branch, that was the store, so nigga be at the other store, nigga had you be at the 3rd store on Edinburgh.
Most of the neighborhood is zoned RD2, which provides for single-family and 2-family residences at a relatively low density. Hollygrove contains Conrad Park, shares Larry Gilbert Stadium with Gertown, and is near Harrell Stadium and Palmer Park, which are located in the Leonidas. Residents have noted that safety is a concern for all of the parks. Most of the housing types are raised, although there are some slab-on-grade houses. The architectural styles in the neighborhood are mixed and include bracketed shotgun single, arts and crafts shotgun double, side gable bungalow, modern brick ranch, and others. Notable in Hollygrove Dixon are the numerous churches, many with brick exteriors. Examples of these include Mount Rock Baptist Church, Friendship Baptist Church, St. Teresa Little Flower, and First Hollygrove Baptist Church.
Bruh, I grew up 4 houses from where bounce music was invented. The owner of a club that was 4 houses away from me, and approximately across the street from my dad's barroom, Mars Lounge. You know what I'm saying? Which is my grandmother's barroom. It just was handed down just like that. And my dad had ran it, but my grandmother, that was my great-grandfather, you know what I'm saying, was mean at playing poker and stuff. They called him the Black Jew. He was so serious about his money, you know what I'm saying?
I come back to Hollygrove, I'm like high school, 9th grade and shit in Hollygrove popping. They got like Ghost Town popping, and that was like before nigga really can go out to any club, you do like your hood club. My hood club was Ghost Town, and then they had fucking TT Tuck and DJ Irvin, that bitch killing it. I'm like 16, they punishing that bitch every motherfucking weekend. Ghost in that bitch throwing concerts all of the Lakefront Arena with the Ghost Town production. He was heavy in the hip hop. He was a pioneer of this shit, man. This had to be like in 90, 91, easily might be fucking 8 or 9. He was doing this shit. Nigga wasn't doing that shit yet. He was killing the game. He had Rufus under his wing and shit. That's why Rufus was throwing the fucking show later, because he got the game from my dude Ghost. But Ghost ran that shit, man. That was his shit. He had Ghost Town production. He'd be paying. He didn't pay TT Tucker cash at first. He was getting TT Tucker coke and motherfucking bitch. TT Tucker got the mic all night running that bitch. But DJ Herb fucking right. Where they at? They in that bitch, they gonna dump in this bitch, man. P-popping was just taking all them niggas all on the pool table. This bitch wild as a motherfucker. Nigga had to stop serving bottles in that bitch. Cause nigga bust a nigga in the head some more with the bottle. Nigga start selling fucking 32-ounce cups in that bitch. So yeah, nigga get stabbed in this bitch. That bitch was wild. That bitch was a little hole in the wall club. That bitch probably really hell. If you check the capacity on that bitch, it probably hold about 200, 300. Nigga had like 400, 500 in that bitch like saltine, but this bitch used to jump. That was just me coming out of my time, coming off the post around that time. Yeah. But that bitch was hype as shit, man. Tucker being that bitch all night. Irvin that bitch making tapes. Cause he'll just press record, cause it was contested back then. So he'll get TT Tucker the mic, TT Tucker in that bitch. I think he was telling Tucker what to say and everything. But Tucker in that bitch will be, he literally press record. And record the fucking tape. That bitch would be around there all week serving. Cause Irv was like from the 7th wall with a slick ass. DJ Irv was from Hollygrove.
So I want to take a few minutes to talk about some famous music artists that came out of Hollygrove. People know that Hollygrove is known for its music. So let's get into a couple of people, my favorites, that came from Hollygrove and represented them well. Nesby Phips is a producer, rapper, and visual artist from New Orleans, Louisiana. He grew up living in both the New Orleans neighborhood of Hollygrove and the city's James Alley area of the Third Ward across the street from the Orleans Parish Prison.
So, I grew up in a very loving, musical, just warm household. It was 4 of us, brothers and sisters and shit. So it was dope. My neighborhood was filled with kids, and my door never stayed locked because it was just a bunch of action, just kids in and out the house. So it was loving, but the music was always there. Yeah. And say I always knew that I was related to Mahalia. That's my dad's great aunt. So it's my great grandmother's sister, right? So she died before I was born in 72. Yeah, but her sister Yvonne helped my mama raise us, right? She was like our caregiver because my dad worked at nights at the post office. You feel me? So I always was in tune to my relation to her, but at the time we didn't have a global awareness of New Orleans. Like, I didn't understand the world outside of New Orleans. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't leave till the hurricane. Like, we had no regard for outside of New Orleans. Going out of town was like Houston, Atlanta, Six Flags, some shit.
Nesby Phips is the grandnephew of Mahalia Jackson and has a family full of audio and visual artists. Nesby Phips' sound draws from the jazz, rhythm, and blues and rap traditions of New Orleans, as well as global music traditions in Ethiopian jazz. Phips' ongoing association with currency and the jet life movement resulted in some of his top-selling works of the late 2000s, including the tracks Prioritize and Hold On off of the Pilot Talk 1 and 2 albums. He also featured on Wiz Khalifa's iconic Cushion Orange Juice mixtape. His most recent art installation, Buku Power, resulted in billboards in New Orleans and New York. Richard Jones, better known by his stage names Fiend or International Jones, is an American rapper and producer best known for his time spent with Master P's No Limit Records.
One friend allowed me to get in a pre-production spot, make a beat for me to make an intro for Lil Wayne for Q93 for doing an intro for Lil Wayne's show. That was big at one time. If you had an intro, introducing the DJ, the radio personality of the time, moment of that slot of the day, that was like your way to be heard by the city, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like if people were tuning to the radio. And just so happened Wayne gave me the opportunity to be an intro for his show, right? Prime time slot on the day at Q93, you feel me? And D put together the beat, it could have been him and Mello. D put together the beat. At the same time I was recording over in the studio with Moo and Jazz and at a studio, and I did this intro, and like on maybe a Monday, Tuesday they heard it, Wednesday they played it, Thursday some people, Big Boy Records heard it. Friday I was recording the batters, MF Alive. And Saturday I was shooting a viral commercial to go on the box.
Fiend was introduced to the No Limit team through 7th Ward music legend Mia X. Jones is from the Hollygrove neighborhood in New Orleans, Louisiana, and has had a very impressive run in music. Fiend currently goes by International Jones and has been a spokesperson for music education in addition to releasing quality records and working with new artists. Partners in Crime is a legendary rap duo from New Orleans, Louisiana, made up of Kango Slim and Mr. Mina. They were childhood friends raised in the 17th Ward of New Orleans. The two earned a local buzz performing at various New Orleans talent shows and eventually signed to Big Boy Records. Partners in Crime had widespread success through Louisiana with their single Let the Good Times Roll, a song that discusses social change in the black community in the year 1994. This year was one of the most violent years in New Orleans. Pump the Party was also produced in 1994.
Yo, make some noise for the world's greatest. End of this song, we'll play it down. We'll see how it goes. We'll take one. Ready to start. All right, here we go. 1, 2. It's game time. All right, stand by. Here we go. 1.
It's game time.
One more time.
See? It's game time.
Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., professionally known as Lil Wayne, is an American rapper, record executive, and entrepreneur. He is regarded by many contemporaries as one of the most influential hip-hop artists of his generation and often cited as one of the greatest rappers of all time. His career began in 1995 at the age of 12 when he was signed by rapper Birdman, joining Cash Money Records as the youngest member of the label. From then on, Wayne was the flagship artist of Cash Money Records, before ending his association with the company in June 2018.
He make a nigga that monster though, cause bro don't write. Like bro really listen to that bitch for 30 minutes or some shit. He got a whole song in his head, so I be like, bitch, like how you, and I write still, but I write fast as fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I write probably faster than the average nigga. Like, I can finish a song in like 30, 45 minutes, and I'm feeling that bitch like that, I can write a whole song, but he really, you know what I'm saying, watching that shit, be like, boy, and you can't just, ain't no taking all day with that nigga. Like, you can't be in the studio just dragging your ass, and he going in there doing that, like, so that making nigga, bitch, I gotta do something. Yeah, I gotta come this bitch, and I gotta come with it. It can't just be no bullshit, like, so it just be, I don't know, it's just I'm like iron sharpening iron, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like watching this nigga just to take these skills and put it in my, you know what I'm saying, put it in my little resume, make this bitch work for me, how you doing, and, you know what I'm saying? But that shit fire, you know what I'm saying? I still just be living in that shit, like, nigga don't really be realizing, like, it's just Lil Wayne, like, cause nigga done been around Islam so much and nigga fuck with him, we, you know what I'm saying, that's really my partner now, that's my brother, so I don't really just be looking at it like this tune, like how everybody would look at it, like, you know what I'm saying, so I don't know.
Lil Wayne has sold over 120 million records worldwide, including more than 20 million albums and 70 million digital tracks in the United States, making him one of the world's best-selling music artists. He has won 5 Grammy Awards, 11 BET Awards, 4 Billboard Music Awards, 2 MTV Music Awards, and 8 NAACP Image Awards. On September 27, 2012, Lil Wayne became the first male artist to surpass Elvis Presley with the most entries on the Billboard Hot 100 with 109 songs. So the last thing that I want to talk about in this particular piece is a group out of Hollygrove called 0017. And this group was started by Nesby Phips, Reem, a few other people from the Hollygrove, and it evolved into something that they didn't even expect it to be when they first created it. I'm actually going to be doing a documentary on this particular subject, so if you want to see that, make sure you like and subscribe. But what I noticed about 0017 when I was doing my own research was that it started out as more of a cool, calm, and collected type of music group that just focused on good vibes, man, and just making people feel good, a lot of instrumentation, a lot of horns. And somewhere along the way, you kind of seen the transition from it going from a cool type of vibe music to more so violent. And it was the generation of rappers that were actually affiliated with the group that set the tone for the type of music they would be recognized by. When I first heard of 0017, I didn't look at them as what they were when they first were created. I looked at them as more of a violent, hardcore, hip-hop type of group. And it's funny that it didn't even start out like that.
That's the neighborhood, so that really started with Izzo, Nesby Phips, and Reem. You know what I'm saying? So one day, Izzo, I fuck with them, so they called me over there to get on the project, the Hollygrove Ain't Enough project. I was just a feature on the project. I wasn't really part of the whole movement, but it's just like, it's the 17th, so I wasn't officially a part of that shit, but I'm from Hollygrove shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, it makes sense, like, so after that project, after I did that verse, my homie Marty, he got involved with 0017. And that's when, then I forgot Mike, Hollygrove Mikey too, he was fucking with it too. And then when Marty came along, he brought Keem along, and then he brought me along with it too, like the fuck with it, like more the younger wave of it too, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that whole 0017 thing started like that. Like, did I do the project? I did a project with Reem and Nesby Phips and my thing, and Mike and them. I think I was on the project. Yeah. If I ain't mistaken, I be doing a lot of music, you hear me?
No, I knew you got the balls for days.
Yeah, I be doing a lot of music. But I think, I was on a couple of songs on the Hollygrove Ain't Enough shit, and then that's when me and Keem started doing some shit, and then Young came along.
Man, just rapping. I met Juvenile that year. Juve called me like, yeah, man, I won't fuck with you. So I'm saying, Shout out, Drew. But yeah, man, he wanna fuck with me, so he come in the hood one night, he just come pick me up. Like, man, let's go to the studio. He really surprised me, cause I don't really know, you know what I'm saying? I ain't think anybody come pull up in Hollygrove at no 12, 1 o'clock at night for no trap. So, but he really wanted to fuck with me like that, you know what I'm saying? So that nigga like, man, I like your shit, man. Brought me to his house. I ain't gonna say where it's at, but he brought me to his house. We had went out there, met his wife and shit. Met his son. So we just ran in the studio and some shit. That was the first night we recorded together. I recorded with Julie, man. I'm like, told you I grew up on that shit. So I'm just feeling like, man, this shit real. Like, man, this shit real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that nigga wanna fuck with me though. That's all I be like, man, that nigga wanna fuck with me. Like, I ain't, but dude like, man, you a star. Dude like, you a star, nigga. You don't even know. Like, man, you got that sound, nigga. Like, man, peep you out. But child, man, but like, as it goes on, I just kept going, like, fuck it. Like, ain't no way I'ma stop now, you hear me? Next year, 2015, do a feature with Fetty Wap. So I'm saying,
let's talk about that a little bit real quick. I did want to ask about that.
Shout out to ARL too, though, my man. Free ARL, man. Real shit, real solid nigga, cause that came right before that Fetty Wap shit. And that's a real nigga, like real shit, like we tied him for life, man. Free that man.
You don't really appreciate it until it's, you know, you're away from it. Yeah. You see how the world regards it, and you see how much of it lives in you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you see where this doesn't exist. And one thing from traveling and touring, I realized if you blindfolded me and dropped me off at a random intersection in Cleveland or Detroit, I couldn't tell you where I'm at outside of a landmark. Yeah. But if you drop me off on a random corner in New Orleans, I know I'm in New Orleans. I can hear him talk, I know I'm in New Orleans. You can smell it. I know I can look at the sidewalk, I must be in New Orleans. Real top. Like it's broke up, the oak trees breaking up the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's real. So like, that's crazy. I learned to appreciate it because I identify with it. Cause I don't see it when I was in New York, I didn't see me. You know what I'm saying? And who I was stood out even more. It's hard to see yourself at home. Everybody talk like you, look like you. When they talk about somebody from New Orleans, there's always a paragraph or more dedicated to just going in about this particular person from New Orleans. For Miles, it was a specific horn player or piano player. For Quincy, same thing. For Malcolm, it was about this man that ran a speakeasy in Harlem during the Renaissance. He from New Orleans. He used to serve jambalaya cuisine and shit like that. There's always so much to say about somebody from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? And like, and all of those things, again, your environment telling you who you are. Like I said earlier, like there's always so much to say about us.
Yo, go grab Phips. I'm right here on Hollygrove.
I got you, Neff. I'm going to get him right now.
All right. You going to get him? Yeah, we good. Boss.
Good morning. Y'all see the 0017 tats on us? You gotta say, praise the Lord. Bum 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 bum. For medical use only. For these 17 dudes only. I sever your little homie, he said he won't show me him and what on me. Homie, I keep that on me. I'm Hennessy Breshaw, you bottles of Don P. I studied from North Seas, how to cook, praise the Lord. Now I can stretch that 14, swear to God. Last year I just wanted to see my homie shine. This year pay attention, this big homie time. And big homie that I'm, flip you 10 times, you don't owe me a dime. Been holding that iron, but now I just pay the man. I do it if I say I can. Distribution, endorsement, and merchandise. Your publics and PRs ain't working right. If you the kind that's inclined for a perfect price in time to cross the thin line to be worth it, right? Right. My jet done took flight to bet it's sunlight. Tell America good night.
Listen, I'm finna in a minute, minding my way. Put your toe in to see who be the king of the show then. Funny how the game is, strategically unfold who the lame is. Spit it wicked smoke out of a law for Cambridge. I get the team ready, cause once they know who I'm is, it's highly likely they won't know who I came with. Ring, J and Mike, there's a few others. Hail from the home of jazz while giving niggas the blues, brother. I heard them niggas sleeping on me, but what's crazy is why you snoozing who's making love to your old lady. Nah, I ain't touch a car, but I coulda. She was hoping after the show I stick my spoon in her pudding. But I'm whack, hoe intolerant, strictly about cheese, literally. Aged like wine on grapevines in Italy. Heavy diddly D, we got our own thing. So good to you, you ignore it when you hear the phone ring. I'm ill with the song thing. Boom.
Yo, this shit's too easy. Remind me half these bitches I know. So I'ma give it to you niggas like you give it to a hoe. Sit back and pay attention while you get it from a pro. See, I'ma get this money if it's fast or if it's slow. All about my money like I'm dancing on a pole. Should've been a baker, go hard for the dough. Pure beauty, no makeup, no eyelash, no tummy tuck, no booty shots, natural. There's some things you should know about L. Won't snitchin', I'ma stand by my nigga if he burning in hell. I'm on MTV, you know that I'm well. The flow's so sick, they wishing me well. In the dressing room before the show, lighting the L. Money the perfume, it cover the smell. Been wildin' since a young buck, don't give a fuck. I'm a Hollygrove hustler, bout my bucks. They keep it 100, these rap hoes suck. Only got a deal cause they let a nigga fuck. I'm like, so what? Hold up, roll up, blow one. I ain't your average girl, been all over the world. Fine like jewelry, diamonds and pearls. Did songs with Wayne, money and fame. Realest bitch walking, ex Mac Main. See, I done seen some millions on these Hollygrove corners. Ballers turn snitch, snitch turn goner. Now they organ donors, play the organs on them. Killed them, call a coroner.
I'm unstoppable, unflawed, underrated, underguard, uptown, upbringing, upper echelon, unguard. Mind sharp as a sword, backstabbers never seen my back. Hollygrove where I'm at. Money is everything where I'm from. A dead president worth more than a live one. We can't let bygones be bygones, cause I love our bygones could buy guns. Can knock the hustle with Jehovah Witness knuckles. Grind like hoes to shine like Russell. Eating rappers alive, Izzo get me a muzzle. Rumble, young man, rumble, too hot to be humble. Told me ball till I fall, left them all and I stumble. Tarzan in the jungle, in my stomach it grumbles. Love, feel my pain, you need a Vicodin. Dark nigga, but they love me like I'm lighter skin. I'm a king, put your head beneath the guillotine when it swings. Microphone fiend, smoke MCs like nicotine. Weight of the world on my shoulders, I balance it like a triple beam. Fresh like water, clean like chlorine. My simplest lines turn out more mean. I'm a monster, they thinking it's Halloween. I'm a soldier, these rappers are MREs. Please, you can never touch the Elohim. Dark cloud in the sky, say I reign king. Mind sharp as the claws on Wolverine. Even Diana Ross will say my flow is supreme. My 16's deadly as an M16. My flow will make a skeleton dream. I'm sick for real, call a medical team. We shut down every hood, 0017, what up?
Label the killer, these bars murder you niggas. How you my competition, I never heard of you niggas. And sometimes I gotta flex out, just to show you I'm the best out. And I put it work on my niggas. Soft ass rappers that's throwing shots but want them back. Begging for truce, I got the proof, how real is that? Everything I spit is really facts, for really though. Probably in the 9 with Max, but you don't fit me though. New coupe tinted with me and your boot in it. Call a nigga bishop, I'm putting the juice in the rap game. Nothing like the crack game. New Orleans on my shoulders, I'm dodging the back pains. I heard your little bars, I promise they all weak. Came up fast, I promise that's all me. Don't ever try to gas, I'm comfortable on E. These a rock in a bitch, I done had a long week. While you was dreaming local, I was trying to be a mogul. Looking for handouts, I walk past, I don't know you. Put my Mac down like a real nigga supposed to. But when you in the clutch, you niggas know who to go to. Young LeBron, I deliver every time. You niggas lower class, we the upper echelon. And I'm killing you rappers, rebirth second line. Putting up for my section whenever it's ripping time, Lord. Call Mac Main, tell him book a flight. No matter what, love, I'm good for life. Dead wrong, but I got it right. Saying the young nigga on, well then you probably right. Shit, I went to copping and forgot the price. They ain't give me no other option, I'm just living life. You pussies hoping that I die tonight. I hate haters like New Orleans hate Roddy White Jones.